Hello, this is Brave Sir Robin coming to you from Parts Unknown here at the Mean Mike Machine and Keith with a very special video. This past Friday, the wrestling world was very shocked to lose one of its top legends ever. One of the top icons. With the death of Randy Poffo, better known as the Macho Man Randy Savage. An icon to us all, the epitome of a legend of this industry, and somebody who I think will be missed. We're going to talk about some of our favorite Randy Savage memories and reflect on the wonderful career this guy had. What would you say would be I guess the most famous match I guess we first got to mention is him and Ricky Steamboat. Would you say that's a top favorite match of yours?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's what got me doing, really watching wrestling on TV all the time was in '87 was to build up for that match. Like, when Steamboat had his throat hurt because of Savage and his comeback and all that kind of stuff, all that was really got me into watching wrestling.
Well, it's the epitome of a feud, creating a story, middle, climax, awesome match in the end.
Yeah, this was among my first memories watching. Like, this is when I first got into wrestling. One of the first things I saw was this random match they were having, I think, on Superstars, where Randy Savage injured Ricky Steamboat with the ring bell, and I was horrified at the time. I was maybe 7 or 8 years old at the time, and I was just like, oh my god. And I've been into it ever since, so you can say this is what started my lifelong passion of this industry that I do love so much, that all of us do, I'm sure. Like, unlike a lot of people, we were alive to see this, so we're kind of dating ourselves now, but that's it. And what else would you call a top match? Name something you think is a very good one.
I know the one we watched this evening and I haven't seen in a while was when he fought DiBiase in the cage.
Yeah, that's the first I saw that.
That was pretty decent, yeah.
That's for preparation for this video. For those of you who are wondering, we were just watching this. I highly recommended DVD. I'm not going to review the whole DVD, but we just watched several matches from it.
Yeah.
Well, when Hulk Hogan was out and they finally gave Savage a chance to take that top spot.
Yeah.
It was
a big moment.
It was a big moment.
Especially
and it was good too because he filled that role of the not quite Hogan, but still.
You said Hogan was out. He never was out. He just.
I mean, out of the title scene. Finally stepped back a bit.
Yeah.
And what's memorable at that too is the night where he wrestled the tournament. In one night, WrestleMania 4, he wrestles Butch Reed.
One man gang.
Yeah, one man gang. Greg Valentine, then Ted DiBiase. 4 very different opponents, 4 very different matches, all excellent. So that's another reason why this guy was a pro. There's not too many guys who can do that, even today.
But his interview style and the skills on the mic too were...
Yeah, nobody got a promo like him.
Even later on when he was not quite up to par athletically later on, especially WCW, things like that.
Towards the end of it,
Just hand him a mic and give him some airtime and you were getting a show.
Yeah, for sure.
Another good match. We didn't watch it tonight, but we were talking about it when he fought the Honky Tonk Man on Saturday's main event, or the main event, whatever it was.
Yeah. Good drama there. Like,
yeah.
For the match ends in a DQ and the Hart Foundation come in. This leads to them holding on to Savage so Honky get in with the guitar and Elizabeth gets in the way and stops it. Like, even Honky's timing, you got to give it to Honky for this too, and facial expressions, it just really sold the moment. Then she goes to the back and comes back with Hulk Hogan. I think this is what formed the Mega Powers.
Yeah.
A classic moment for sure.
That's true.
Another good moment I'm going to talk about is match with the Ultimate Warrior too.
Oh, the
retirement match.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, like Warrior's best match of his career, and they said the reason Warrior was in the match is because the way Savage put his matches together, knew he would drag out a good match, and
they did.
Yeah, and like they told a good drama in that story too. With
I can remember watching the pay-per-view when it happened, and I was a big Warrior fan too. Yeah. And I was like, this Warrior's going to walk away, and it's like he almost took the count out.
Yeah,
and then he's like, the gods are calling him back, and he came back and finished the match.
Yeah, with like multiple shoulder tackles after kicking out of the elbow many times, which built the story too.
It was 3 or 4 consecutive times, wasn't it? Where Macho Man got to the top elbow, went to the top elbow.
Yeah, and then he kicks out.
And then Warrior kicked out.
Yeah, and then he hit a bunch of shoulder tackles. Can't remember if it was a press slam or not.
I don't remember now.
But that was the story. It was bringing Randy Savage to his lowest point, but then it made it all the more triumphant because right after the match ended, Sherry turns on, in comes Miss Elizabeth, and they're reunited. There was people in the crowd crying. It was great. Yeah. Like, that's, again, the pure storytelling.
Almost as if Sherry brought him down, and his evil ways had come to a head. And
it was his redemption for the end, or what we thought was the end of his career. He got to redeem himself.
You call it very interesting storytelling.
Yeah, this is... You don't see this anymore. Like, I don't know like maybe the storytellers of today don't have this skill like the Macho Man
I
did.
think one of the last great feuds I remember of wrestling recently was a couple of years back of Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho that lasted because it involved Batista and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Jericho punching Shawn Michaels' girlfriend,
Yeah.
wife in the
I
face.
guess in the
Yeah,
same note
yeah,
we had
yeah.
Jake the Snake slapping Elizabeth for their feud too.
Yeah.
There was a very memorable feud too, like
Oh yeah.
with the Cobra
yeah,
bite.
Yeah, the Cobra.
Where Randy Savage is tied into the ropes and he gets the Cobra to bite him. Like that was, I forget how young I was at the time, but that was pretty horrifying too.
Yeah.
But that was some classic stuff too. That's two
Yeah.
great ring psychologists putting things together.
Yeah,
It
two
was.
guys who just know how to like tell us. Like I keep saying, tell a story. That's exactly what these two are pros at. Was telling a story in the ring.
And not just making up a story with little skits as you're going along and then go out and having a match, but actually telling half the story in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I found it funny after the feud back in '87, after the feud with Ricky Steamboat, and then and then because it was after that year he became Savage turned face, but then it was that Survivor Series and Ricky Steamboat was one of his partners in
Yeah.
elimination match. How was that kind of funny? After they had that big old hatred of feud and they were buddies.
Yeah, especially after all that. And then
Yeah.
I remember when WrestleMania 4 was coming along, I think Savage was fighting Butch Reed in the first round and Steamboat was fighting Greg Valentine. And everyone was like, we're going to see Savage Steamboat 2 at WrestleMania 4.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that didn't happen though. I guess they either didn't want to have two faces fight each other, or rumors are Vince was pissed with Steamboat for wanting to take time off with his son, the bastard.
No, but that was the thing. Like you hardly seen heel versus heel, face versus face. Cause I thought that when I was a kid when I watched it, because I was thinking you're not going to see when you see because they showed the brackets and if you know who won, it was I predicted the winner for the other one.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see faces versus faces, heel versus heels hardly, so it was made it easy to predict who the next opponent for him was going to be.
Yeah. And so I forget Savage's, I think his last great feud with DDP in WCW
Yeah.
made DDP's career pretty much.
Yeah.
Like they did some great matches there. I just remember, like when Savage got or put Don Metallo's page over and gave him the win, that solidified DDP as the main eventer for WCW and like put him up there.
That's true.
And the whole feud with Kimberly and I think Elizabeth was involved then too.
Mm.
I don't know, they were kind of off and ons, but something like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Any other great matches you can think of with Savage? There's a lot to pick. I mean, the guy's done everything.
I like Savage and Ric Flair.
Yeah,
when they
oh,
fight
there you
in WWF.
Yeah, and over
The world title.
yeah,
and,
the
and,
whole "she was mine before she was yours."
and I have her nude in a magazine.
Yeah, they were going to. They kept hyping up before WrestleMania that they're going to show a centerfold of Miss Elizabeth, and
Yeah.
I remember watching it on pay-per-view, and everybody was disappointed because they didn't.
Yeah.
Even at my young impressionable age, we were ready to see some nudity on a pay-per-view. Like that was going to happen though, which is I was saying earlier too. Miss Elizabeth was actually one of the few who never showed any skin really.
No.
Other than SummerSlam, was it? Where she removed her skirt bottom and she was wearing her panties.
Yeah.
Not even really panties, more like a bottom.
Yeah, more like a bob.
Granny panties.
Which was a great feud too, was the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks. Yeah, pretty much granny panties, sadly. God rest her soul too. I mean,
Yeah.
Miss Elizabeth, she'll be missed too. She passed on a few years before, but still. It was great to hear too. Like I seen some Twitter posts from Lanny Poffo, and I seen some other people confirm this. Like throughout Savage's life, they said he was kind of an intense guy. He was hard to be around, but they said where he got married with I think over the last year and other things that went on, he was finally at peace in his life. So it's kind of sad to hear that he did pass on, but at least he was happy at the end of his life.
That's how I heard about his death. I was at work and I had Twitter on. I just turned it on. It wasn't on the rest of it, so I just put it on Twitter. And I think one of the first ones I've read was before I went on Twitter because I follow CM Punk on Twitter and he's one of the ones that shows up automatically on my mobile phone. I don't have to be on Twitter to read it. And he shows up on my BlackBerry and it was like, I hope it's not true. I just heard about the passing of Randy Savage or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I went on Twitter and that's everything that was there.
Oh, for sure.
So I heard it
You
from
told
Twitter.
me because I was at work too, but
Yeah.
I don't have Twitter on my phone. I'm not that advanced yet. But
Yeah.
he told me, and then the library is built onto the building where I work, and I had it confirmed, and I was actually pretty blown away by his death.
Yeah.
He's one of the. There's a few wrestlers that I felt truly sad when they died, like or any celebrity for that matter, like Eddie Guerrero and Owen Hart too, for that matter.
Yeah.
Like when their deaths actually hit me. because they were a part of my life, a part of my childhood, and
you remember Brian Pillman too,
yeah, Brian Pillman too, for that matter.
because we were like big thing with Goldust, and the next day he was dead.
Yeah.
the day, the morning of the.
But it's kind of sad when like a childhood icon like this dies. It's like
Yeah.
Captain Kangaroo dying or something like that,
Yeah. That's a,
or like the rest. Like you can't find out He-Man died, or you can't find out, you know,
yeah.
some other star. But like the wrestlers, they were built up as larger than life cartoon characters for our childhoods, and to hear them dying is truly sad.
Yep.
So with his passing now, what do you think? Do you think there's any Hall of Fame chances now?
Oh,
I think it's
more
almost
or less.
guaranteed now.
I'd say
isn't
he'll
it?
be in next year now, but I mean, like
Depends on his family.
I can understand just the stuff like why he wasn't in it already. Because I mean, if you had Shawn Michaels this year, you're not going to have him the same year as Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You're going because Randy Savage was main event the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But now that he's dead, I'd say he's a lock for him to be in next year.
Yeah, like maybe
I don't see what.
his brother will accept.
Yeah,
for him.
because I don't think Papa would object to him doing it. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
or
His
Randy's
wife.
family in
Yeah.
general. So
Depends what his wife would say too.
yeah, and so
He was-
Papa would probably accept that on his behalf.
It's sad that he was out of the spotlight later in his life too, but
But
he made his money,
choice.
so
It
he
was
did
his
what he did.
choice.
It was his choice too. But
Yeah.
like he was out of the spotlight, but he was still in the fans' imaginations. I mean, the WWE DVD got made because the fans demanded it, pretty much.
I was waiting for his follow-up rap album for his first one from a few years back.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, I remember when that was happening.
That was just him pissing away his WCW money.
Yeah, I think it was in his contract.
Calling it
I remember at the time when that happened, somebody I was talking to, I'm like I downloaded a copy, sorry, but I was showing it to one of my friends. We were listening to it. He's like, I think Randy Savage is gonna come back if you with John Cena, who was doing the rap thing all the time. I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah, that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. That would have been cool. I mean, still so many great memories of this guy. He was amazing. Like this, I'm gonna point out some DVDs, I guess. I mean, this one's obviously essential viewing now. We were watching some scattered matches from this one, the best of Saturday Night's Main Event. He's got matches all over it, especially from the early days, matches from his first title run and his IC run and stuff like that. So a lot of good stuff to have. And the best of Raw seasons 1 and 2. I recommend this one too. Not so much for the matches, but he's all over commentary on this. He has a few interviews. So I think this would be the best DVDs to get from. So I think before closing off, any final words we want to say here about Savage? Any final moments we want to talk about?
No, it was just sad, but
Yeah, I mean,
It's sad to hear, but his career was done.
yeah.
All the classic stuff that we loved and still will love is all out there.
Yeah.
We're not deprived of more, really.
No, I
But
mean,
it's just sad.
yeah, it's out there. I mean,
And
it is sad to see like I said, a true legend of the industry. One of my favorites ever. One of the reasons, as we all said, that we're even fans now. If not for Randy Savage, I wouldn't be a fan. If not for being a fan, I wouldn't be doing stuff like this. And
it's actually weird this time that a wrestling guy died, a wrestler legend died, because usually when a wrestler dies, it's some kind of current.
yeah, sadly.
For the last couple of years,
Sadly,
it was
yeah.
like you hear, oh, Lance Cade dies. This one was. He's at least he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was a car
an active
crash too,
wrestler,
like,
yeah.
not like a drug
heart
overdose.
attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart attack behind the
Yeah.
wheel.
the only thing that
And his girlfriend's going to be okay.
oh, that's good. The only thing that to add, I think, is it's too bad that he died before he really got his due.
Yeah.
Like the
Because he's
the
just
Hall-
starting to
like,
get it
like
now,
the Hall
yeah.
of Fame or the definitive collection kind of thing.
Or like
One
his-
final appearance
yeah.
to say goodbye.
one of those DVDs where it tells the story,
Tell the whole story.
Yeah.
and you can be a part of it.
Like
Because
he
he
appear
had-
in front of
he's
the
had a-
crowd at least one last time would have been the amazing thing.
He seemed to have a very private life. Like you don't know a lot about his personal life, and it would have been good to hear the documents. You're growing up as the son of a wrestler, things like that.
Yeah, that's right
It
too.
would have been nice to hear that in his own words.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
sadly, looks like we won't. At least not from his account.
Not from
Maybe
his,
his
account.
brother Lenny Poffo, the genius, will talk about
And
it.
his current girlfriend, wife, or whatever, and
Yeah. So sadly.
whoever's left around in his family.
So I guess as closing words, wherever you are, Randy Savage, you'll be missed by us fans, and thanks for the cherished memories. We're very glad to have them. And so this is Braves for Robin, the Mean Mike Machine, and Keith signing off. And one last finger twirl to the sky.
Ooh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.